Hello please, and welcome to our very first video on Duet Night Abyss. I'm Robin Osiria, Shinobi streamer, variety VTuber, Gacha Gamer, and I just got accepted to the technical test. In today's video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about the technical test, and I'll show you everything I can see now that I've got my hands on the game. Before we begin, I believe it's very important to note that this video is not sponsored in any way, nor do I have any relationship with the developer. I signed up for the technical test like everybody else, and I don't believe that my status as a content creator helped me get in. I'm not that big of a creator, okay? But I am very excited to create content for Duet Night Abyss, so let's get started. By the way, this video does have timestamps, so if you ever get bored of any particular section, feel free to skip around. So I received this email from Duet Night Abyss. We're not going to read this whole email word for word, but I will tell you the highlights. And the highlights are: 1, that I got accepted to the test. They plan to launch a content creator program and system requirements and time and dates for the test. So let's take a look. So it says here that we noticed that you provided your creator side information during the recruitment phase. I did include my creator information. For full disclosure, after I received this email from Duet Night Abyss, I did send them an email at this official content creator email address inquiring about the creator program, but as of the filming and posting of this video, I haven't heard back from them yet. I have seen other content creators who have more YouTube subscribers than me say that they did not get into the technical test, so I'm very curious, if you got into the technical test and you're not a content creator, was this paragraph just not included in your email? Also, I would love to hear your general comments about content creators and getting into technical tests in the comments below. What do you think about this? The technical test period will run from March 27th, 2024 at 10 a.m. UTC plus 8 through March 29th at 12 p.m. UTC plus 8. I personally really struggle with time zones, so I've converted the start of the technical test to many populous locations around the world. Hopefully this helps. At this point, I believe that I will have time to hop into the test Wednesday night at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, live right here on YouTube. Assuming I'm allowed to stream this game, I think I am. And the technical test will support 5 languages, including English, Japanese, Korean, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. Which one will you choose? If you have qualified for the technical test, the game is available to download and install now, and I have done so. It says here that you need to reserve 20 gigabytes of storage space for your device, but on my machine, it's only holding about 10. I downloaded the game from this link that I'm not going to click or show you at this time, and I've zoomed in a little bit here so you can get a better look at the recommended and minimum device requirements. For recommended, you are going to need an Intel i7 or a Ryzen 7 3700 processor, and your GPU needs to be at least as good as a GeForce 2060/RX 5700 XT. 16 gigabytes of RAM are recommended, as is Windows 10. The minimum device requirements are an Intel i5/Ryzen 5 2600 GPU and a GeForce 1060/RX 580 graphics card. Either way, you'll still need 16 gigabytes of RAM. What do you think about these system requirements? Personally, I don't really think this is that demanding. You do need to use the email that you signed up for the technical test to log in, and for the technical test, you do need to bind your account to your PC device, which I've gone ahead and done. It was really easy, and I'll show you the video in a second. Of course, they don't want players to sell, share, or trade accounts, which I think is pretty reasonable, and this certainly disincentivizes that. Also, you may not reinstall, upgrade, or change the hardware of the device that has been bound, so please be aware of that. Once again, they clarify the start date and time for the technical test, as well as include a link to the frequently asked questions, which I will include in the video description below. And I think that's everything we need to know about the acceptance email. Let's get into the game. I just realized how many red moons are around this place. This is kind of crazy. So this is what it looked like when I launched the game for the very first time. I do have the game installed on an SSD, but I was particularly impressed with just how quickly it loaded. We hear the intro music for the very first time, and it sounds so good so far. I'm not including my email and password here for obvious reasons, but it worked pretty much exactly as you'd expect. But when we log in, we are greeted with the binding confirmation menu, which I did find to be a little bit clunky, but it seems to have worked with no problem. I've opened and closed the games many times since this, and I haven't had any issues logging in. See, yeah, it's just a little clunky, but it's okay. So I am back on the screen. We are back in real time inside the game, and unfortunately, there's just not a whole lot for us to see at this time. When we hit start game, we are greeted with this notice. This is not a link. I believe that this states the start time of the technical test, and I cannot wait to play. But yeah, otherwise, there's unfortunately just not a whole lot of information on the screen. If we click this down here, it does pull up an account switcher, so it appears that there will be ways to add or play multiple accounts in the future. But with this being the technical test, I just really don't want to touch this right now. I like my account. I like being in the test. And hitting the power button will close the game. Thank you so much for watching our very first video on Duet Night Abyss. I am so excited to try out the game. However, I have a bit of a confession. I haven't actually seen the trailer for the game yet. Should we do a reaction video for it? Are you excited for Duet Night Abyss? If you are, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel, as I do plan to create content for Duet Night Abyss at least through the technical test. Outside of Duet Night Abyss, I also cover and play Honkai Star Rail, Reverse 1999, and I recently started Genshin Impact, so I have a lot on my hands. So if any of that sounds good to you, I hope to see you around. Thank you again. Take care of yourselves, be good, and bye-bye now. I'll see you in Duet Night Abyss.